Facebook. Grateful to see you. If you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay. Got an interesting topic we're going to dive into today. Going to wait for the YouTube to come up and we'll be good to go. What's going on, everybody? Today, I got a question for you. Is MLM, multi-level marketing, network marketing, dead in 2025? With AI here, with technology here, with changing times, with changing people, is it here to stay, or should we pivot? Should we look at other things? I'm going to dive into this and more. And my short answer is yes and no. What does it exactly mean? We're going to unpack that. So if this sounds like something interesting to you, be sure to share this, like this, subscribe to the Ultimate Upline podcast, and you can go onto the YouTube there, and we'll dive into this. We haven't met before, by the way. My name is James Zhang. I've been an entrepreneur in a professional network marketing space for the last 16 years. I've been through many loops and hoops. We've mentored many people to the top 1%, hundreds. And today I want to dive into some important topics because I've heard this many times, like times have changed. Network marketing is getting outdated. Maybe AI is going to take over. Like, is there a need for this? And if you're somebody that's in network marketing, I think it's important always to see what's going on with the trends, see what's going on in the world. Or if you're somebody on the other side and you're thinking, I want to dive into some type of business, but what should I do? Then these are important things to evaluate. So, is MLM dead? I'll answer the first part to yes, it is. And when I say is MLM dead, let me tell you what I'm referring to. I believe that let's just name it old school MLM. And we're taking a look at the future. We're looking at what's coming in the next 5, 10, 20 years. Old school MLM is, and this is an overarching connotation, is back in the day, and I've been there, done that because I was born and bred this way, is old school MLM is you would get started with very big packages, and you would, first thing you do in network marketing is you would list out a big list of 100 friends and family. You'd be given a script. You'd practice the script. You'd call up all your friends and family, trying to get them to buy or join you. I remember we would call them call parties or doll for dollars. And it was kind of boiler room status if you really think about it, and not knocking on any of these. It all works still. But I remember what I would do is I would drill, and then I would pass the phone of my prospect to my upline, to my mentor. They'd get on the phone, and then they make it sound a little bit secretive, right? Hey, there's this huge opportunity. Hey, do you want to come check it out? Let's set up an appointment. And next thing you know, I'd be driving to pick up my prospect, bring them to a coffee shop, bring them to a living room, sometimes bring them to a hotel presentation. And they'd see the same presentation. Afterwards, they'd meet up with the mentors or the edified people, and then they'd talk to the prospect and they'd say yes, no, or whatever that they do, right? You would do this. And if your business was limited to who you could drive to, if you couldn't drive to them, then you're not going to be able to build there. So old school network marketing are things like that. Other things are your prospecting tactics are go to the gas station. There was something called the 3-foot rule, which is anybody that you can talk to around you within arm's distance, talk to them about the business. Go to the malls, go to the schools, go to the new universities. In fact, if you've done any of these before, let me know in the comments below. How was that experience? And what I would say is I'm grateful for the experience personally, and they all do work to a certain degree. And they really build up your self-confidence, because if you get rejected in the face 1,000 times, I mean, a no is nothing. But at the same time, times have changed, especially post-COVID. People now are conditioned and they're made aware that you can work from home, that you can find ways to make money online. Nowadays, too, consumer behavior is people buy online. Who here buys on Amazon, by the way? Like, it feels like almost every single day I buy on Amazon. We're used to the notion that you can buy online and ship things to you. Not too long ago, probably 5, 10 years ago, there was still an overall skepticism. People are just like, I don't know if I want to buy online. I don't know if I can trust those companies. I don't want to give my credit card there. So post COVID, it accelerated the acceptance that people buy and shop online. In fact, for me now, and I'm 36 years old, I think that I would represent a change of paradigm, a change of thought, and think of anybody that's even younger as well. Going to the store, going to the mall, while I still do every now and then, in a bind, I'd rather just go on Amazon. Case in point, we're shopping. We're about to go to Bali on a company trip. We're doing a wedding vow renewal there with my wife. We've been married for almost 10 years now, 10 years this year. So I'm looking for some shoes. You know what I did? Instead of going to the mall, I went to Amazon. I bought 3 different shoes. It's shipping to me within a day. I'm going to try them, return some that I don't like. Does anyone else shop like that, by the way? So there is a different mindset of how people buy. People want things online. People want to be able to do their own research. People that's the way that they're used to actually shopping. Let's talk about some other things on old school versus new school. Old school, I remember the internet and promoting online was just not the thing. Like, you just don't do that. It's not effective. In fact, it was frowned upon. It was like, if you're not in person, then you're doing it wrong. And I'm not knocking on in person. I believe, and I'll wrap this all up at the end, right? I believe there's a time and a place for everything. But if you want to attract the next generation, if you want to think about the future when technology is speeding towards a certain direction, I think it's important that we're mindful of these different paradigms and how things are, right? So the old school is kind of like that. In fact, in my own personal story, if you know it, the first 6 years, we built a multiple 6-figure business doing it the old school way, which still works. But then it fell. And to be honest, at the bottom of the bottom, when we lost everything, we were debating, do we really want to do network marketing or not? And for me, and I think for a lot of people, correct me if I'm wrong, they feel the same way. They say, I know network marketing can work. I would love it to work, because who here wouldn't mind recurring income? We've all seen the bubbles. We've all seen how it can grow. We know the concept of it. Very rare now that I meet somebody that does not understand network marketing or has not been involved in a couple of them. What really I found is people say, I want network marketing to work, but I don't want to do what I think it takes for it to succeed. And what they think it takes to succeed is bugging your friends and family, spending a lot of time on the road, going into people's living rooms, and all of that. For me, I'm just speaking on my behalf. After I got burned the first time, I thought to myself, I want this to work, but I don't want to do it that way, because I value freedom, because I value life, because I value family, because I value relationships. I remember before, while we did succeed financially, our lifestyle was not fun. In fact, I remember, because we always had to be with people. Our home was no longer a home. It was a meeting room. We could never even live in our own home. Because I always had to hold the meetings, I could never actually spend time with family. I was in the Bay Area for 15 years, and I could never spend more than one day with my parents down in San Diego, because the following day I would have to do a meeting. So I knew I didn't want that. And I think a lot of people don't want that as well, too. Because nowadays people see people online. And what are we competing against? I believe that network marketing, the competitors, not even other companies, I believe network marketing is competing with things like affiliate marketing. I believe network marketing is competing with digital marketing. It's competing with other types of businesses. And is it competing? Because people do want freedom. People do want entrepreneurship. People do want to make more money, but people don't want to do it. They want to do it a certain way. They value freedom. They want to be at home. They want to live life. They want to do something that is not super intense, super stressful. Let me tell you what doesn't work as well anymore. Back in the day, this is what I would label as old school network marketing mindset. This was the teaching, this was the preaching. Sacrifice 3 to 5 years, work hardcore, work to the bone, and then eventually you'll buy back your freedom. And yes, it works. And yes, that's true. But nowadays, when you can simply be an affiliate for something and you can promote something online and you can make a quick buck, quote unquote, it's not as sexy. People these days don't have a high attention span as much. People are not willing to actually persist enough. Does this resonate with anyone? I'm like that as well too. I wish I had Amazon yesterday rather than I was complaining about Amazon taking 2 days of shipping rather than 1 day. First world problems, right? That's just, but it's the notion of how people are. So to expect somebody to actually commit 3 to 5 years, which do I believe to be massive successful in anything, you need 35 years? Of course. Do I believe even in network marketing today, you need 3 to 5 years of consistent effort? Of course. Like I think you absolutely do. But to be able to get a quick win, to be able to get some type of success, to be able to get meaningful enough result in a business for after 3 to 5 years, it's too long now. We have like a week, we have like 2 weeks, we have like a month maximum. So we have to make sure that we are going with the times, right? So on one hand, I believe old school network marketing, while it has its merits, you know what doesn't go away? Relationships. You know what doesn't go away? Connection, bonds, building friendships, community, especially now with AI, is actually bigger than it ever was before. So keep those aspects. But what I am saying is, in terms of expanding business, in terms of scaling, especially with the next generation, as we look towards the future, my take is this, is that the old school is dying. And the new school, you have to start to adopt. You have to start to think about. And I'm a creature of habit. I don't want to change if I don't want to change, but I want to make sure that's important. Donna said you're doing a topic on instant gratification. Yeah. It is kind of it's the plague of society. It's the pro and con of convenience. It is that we are not willing to wait anymore. But what are some things we say, is MLM dead? I believe the old is dying. But I also believe, so what I also at the flip side would submit that out of all times ever, network marketing done right and properly and adapted with the times is actually more popular than ever. We are in an interesting time where back in the day, I remember the objections that we would face are, is that a pyramid thing? By the way, if you've been in network marketing, have you ever had that objection before? Is that a pyramid thing? Is that one of those things that personal topics on the money? I found very rare do I find that to be an objection today. Very rare. And when I do, I'm like, whoa, people still are not educated. It's why is that the social media has made it so that business and entrepreneurship is sexy, that people know the job just will not buy freedom. People have that through experience now. It's very obvious. So they see that. And they also know that most people have been exposed to network marketing. Grant Cardone had invested into a network marketing company. You see Ed Milet made millions in network marketing, and now he's a personal development guru. Pretty much any single type of personal development guru or coach, they've all done and probably been successful in network marketing, right? So it's out there now, and it's silly to say that network marketing doesn't work, that it's a pyramid or whatever. Those are a very rare few, right? So that's not the issue anymore. So people are looking for opportunities. People are open for that. People know that they are not wanting to go down the typical route. Nowadays, people also even understand the traditional school route is not even a guarantee. Like now it's being doubted. Does a formal education actually buy you a life? Because we have too many stories. By the way, if you graduate from college, do you do something within your degree? Right? I graduated from Berkeley. I have a biology degree. It's at home somewhere. I don't know where it is. I don't use it at all. I'm not dinging education, but the paradigm that formal education will make you an amazing life is very different now. There's too many stories where people understand that just find a way to make money, that find a way to build a business, and that's how you acquire wealth. Like people just kind of know that these days. So it's easier in that sense that people are looking. Okay. It's also simpler in the fact that nowadays you have technology, right? Where back in the day, if I were to, in any business, you have to prospect, you have to market, you have to promote, right? Back in the day, in the old school, I'd have the only way I could promote is I have 100 names and I have to call them. If I couldn't call them, then I'm not promoting. Now you can make a social media post and you have 100 people that look at your social media post. It's faster, it's easier, it's simpler, and it's more scalable. I believe it's something that could be more duplicatable. Back in the day, it took hardcore training, right? Because it's harder to talk to a complete stranger or talk to your friend or family over the phone. It makes it so that it's harder to duplicate. Now, for example, in our team, the first thing that we tell someone to do is basically copy and paste a post that can be an attraction marketing post and just post it. That's like as easy as it gets. I don't know how much easier it can get than doing that. And it works, right? So there's power now because of social media to get a message out there to attract people that you do not even know, right? There's also now technologies that are out there. We have AI. For example, one of the hardest things before to do was train someone how to actually prospect someone. The question that we get in a training setting is, how do I talk to this person so that they'll be interested in my product or my business? You know what I tell them now? Well, this is what I do, but have you asked ChatGPT? Who here's used ChatGPT to come up with some type of business type of messaging? Right? Like it's and you you put it into ChatGPT and you're going to get a really good direction. Like it's amazing how accurate and effective that could actually be. So the speed is picking up. Technology has made things a lot more simple, but we have to make sure that we adapt to the things that work. Okay. So, what do I believe the type of network marketing that happens now? What actually is thriving now? Okay. I would submit it's a mix of some of the old school and the new school, high tech and high touch. I believe that we need to adopt and adapt. I've had to change the way that I do things, right? I used to be in a suit and tie all day. Now I realize today, at least for the market that I'm going with, it doesn't really work, right? I value freedom, I value flexibility. So, what are some of the things that do absolutely work now? And what are things to highlight? I believe it is important to have a business system where you can show somebody that is not too trained, somebody that is scared of talking to somebody, to show them a way to attract business to them. I think people, because of the times, unfortunately, the general skill level and the thick skinness is very low. These days, I'll just be real, people get offended very easily. People are not as strong as communicators because of technology. It's made us weak. Um, People don't like being rejected ever, but even more so now, if someone just doesn't like your post, people get offended. Like we have a different level of tolerance as a whole right now. So if you don't have a system that allows the average new person to attract interest into their business quickly, then we're missing a very big opportunity. We're missing a very big part of the population, right? So think to yourself, is there something in the system that can actually legitimately attract business? For example, in our team, we have a 7-day launch system on social media that when people follow it, most people actually make money, right? So that's one thing that is very big. Another thing that I do also believe that makes network marketing now thriving more than ever, assuming you have that basic system that is duplicatable. I also believe that more than ever, community does matter. Culture is more important than ever before because of technology, because of general unrest in the world, because of COVID putting everyone together and being isolated. The truth is that we were made to be communal creatures, right? God said it's not good for man to be alone. More now than ever, people have realized that the more connected they are on social media, the irony is the more disconnected they feel. Have you felt that way? I have all these friends, I have all these followers, but I feel so empty. So, community is really important. So, do you have a community element in your network marketing business? Do you connect? Do you gather? Do you do things in person? Do you do things online? I actually think that in person is even more important now than ever was before. Now, for me, personal preference is I might not want to be in person every day because I have a baby and I want to have flexibility. I want to have freedom, but I do value intermittent in person gatherings. I like you a lot, but not that much where I want to see you every single day. Right. So having events is still it's more important than ever before. In fact, having something in person in a gathering is a breath of fresh air now for people. because they crave connection. So if you're doing something, whether it's weekly or monthly or quarterly, whether it's a company event or a team event or whatever, to connect and be able to gather with other people, I think is super important. It's refreshing. I was just in Canada and I was able to hug people that I met online for, gosh, I've never met them in person before. So what do? You use online to be your microphone, use online to be your loudspeaker to cast a big net around the world where before you couldn't do that. And from that, you start equipping them with simple systems that can start attracting customers, helping them make some money, start to do something successful. But from that, you then extract talent and you find your leaders and you build relationships. I still believe that, in fact, now more than ever before, community, of course, matters. So getting people to events is a very big thing. In network marketing, what's great about it is the events, assuming you have the proper company and the proper organization, the events are powerful because it's all about uplifting other people, right? I believe network marketing is probably one of the best unifying messages in the world these days, where there's so much stuff that's going on politically, financially, economically, spiritually, right? So what I love is you come to a network marketing event, and I just think about I was in Calgary, Canada, and there's a message our company has to power health and prosperity throughout the world. Right? That's like a great message. That's a great mission. And what was amazing is we saw Christians there, we saw Muslims there, we saw Hindus there, we saw atheists there. We saw white people there. We saw black people there. We saw Asian people there. We saw young people there. We saw old people there. I believe that in a proper network marketing culture in a community, it could be one of the most unifying and refreshing uh, communities in the world. Because unfortunately, now we do live in a society where there are kind of like blacks and whites, and the grays are kind of not as intermingled. We're in a place where there's a lot of division in many different aspects of life. And we're in a place now where it's almost offensive to talk about the blend, right? But you know what's great about network marketing? I don't think anybody would really discount or go against things like being a better person. I don't think people would go against a message like helping you and your family become a bigger impact and making more money with them. I don't think there's many people that would discount the message of let's be healthier together. Right? Like these are unifying universal themes. What about love? People want to be in a place where they're loved, heard, and seen. And I would submit that a network marketing business versus any other type of business is the only place that there's actually community that's involved, you know? So, hey, Mona, what's going on? So that's why now more than ever, if you have culture, if you have community, it's super, super powerful, right? What else is missing though that I believe will make network marketing that much more powerful is I believe mentorship matters. I believe discipleship matters. We live in a day and age now where we have a lot of social media gurus, we have a lot of coaches, we have a lot of mentors. Those are great. But what's missing now is more of the one-on-one, the ability to be able to connect with somebody that you really can learn from, that you're mentored by. That type of relationship is so special. It's so unique. I mean, it's how Jesus discipled his first disciples, right? It's being connected. So I believe what's also important is with your leaders to be able to connect with them personally, to be able to, whether it's be with them in person or to be able to connect with them on a personal level. I believe that type of one-on-one, that type of close proximity is something that is missing, that people are craving more than ever. And if you can find a good mentor, or if you can become an amazing mentor, I believe what is missing, because there's a lot of voices out there, right? There's a lot of noise that's out there. But I believe what can make network marketing super powerful and thriving today is if you become the type of person that people would want to be around. You become the type of person that people are inspired by, that want to learn by. And let me just leave it at this. What would that person look like and be? Well, Jim Rohn said, if you listen to Jim, he's the goat of personal development, made his millions in network marketing and trained all around the world. He said this, his mentor, Earl Shoaff, 3 aspects. Earl Shoaff had a unique philosophy of life. He was easy to talk to, and he was somebody that was successful. So if you can show people that you're somebody that's succeeding, you're moving, success is just progress, you're moving towards your goal. You know what you want, you're moving there. You're somebody that has a good personality, you're connectable, you're relatable, and you're somebody that has unique philosophies on life. You have an ethic about things, you have integrity about things, you show people there's a different way to live, both in business but also in life. I believe people now are craving examples more than ever before. They're in a time when there's a lack of examples out there in the world. And if you can be that person in their life where they're like, I'm inspired by you, I want to be like you, I want to be around you. That's one element that I love about network marketing, because it basically gives you mentorship essentially for free, you know? So just some thoughts and submissions. I believe that there's huge transitions that are going to continue to come faster and faster and faster and faster. I believe it's important to adapt and to adopt and to think. I believe it's important to extract wisdom and principles from the old that are always true, but to adapt methodologies so that it is translatable and relatable to the modern day of how people think and how people buy and how people feel. And if you can merge the best of the two together, I would submit that network marketing is not dead. I would submit that network marketing is thriving now more than ever before. And there's booms all around the world. If you find the right company, the right culture, the right systems, the right everything. And if you can become that ultimate upline, if you can become that mentor to others, which doesn't take much, but if you can become somebody of value, people are going to start to want to come around you. You're going to see how this business can really thrive. So, we'll love your thoughts on this. Just sharing some things as we're diving into this. If you're not subscribed yet, I just started a podcast called the Ultimate Upline Podcast. It's geared towards helping you scale six-figure plus business online without striving. And we'll talk about a lot of interesting different things and different takes. Don't take my word for it. Submit it for you and just some thoughts on things. So check it out on YouTube. It's just James C. Zhang. It's the hashtag on that. And let me know any thoughts that you have. Put them in the comments below. Share this with somebody as well too. Other than that, have a great one. God bless. Bye-bye.